fine as well. And I can throw a good black hole there, which will prevent the target that I was originally on from getting out, as well as hitting those oncomers. And you can see the black hole's utility is just enormous, and hopefully there's some obvious improvement that I've had from the original match that I showed with it. Incredible. Well, can a team with 1 melee, a barbarian, stop a team that has 3 crusaders and a barb? We're going to find out. Going to see what happens here. So I've been playing the black hole build almost exclusively for PvP. There's another build that I have some interest in utilizing. I just don't have the set pieces for it, but if I happen to get those, I'll show it. And I know I said I wasn't going to show too many more PvP videos, if any at all. However, I got some info from a player with the other build that I'd like to show, because it's not only just creative, but it's completely different playstyle. And I just really don't have a whole lot of other topics to cover right now, so we'll show some PvP here. I've gotten a lot better with this build. I'm going to engage here just because there's a whole bunch of enemies coming, and I can capture 1, if not more, in a black hole here, and just do some damage and basically slow them down. Now, I don't need to kill anything. In fact, I don't even need to stay there. This match most likely will be won by time, and that's just something I'm gathering from when I see the lobby before the match. We just don't have a ton of kill power from what I see, so we want to make sure that we're kind of just stalling. And the longer they stay in phase 1 in this transition, kind of the better, to tell you the truth. We don't actually want them to res up ahead of that first choke. If we can just kind of linger them there, do stuff like that, and just kind of leave them, let them retreat, bandage, and so forth, then it's actually favorable for us. So you don't have to kill a player just because you can. All right, there's some strategies, especially since recently a lot of these matches have shifted, and the winning condition on defense has really become the timer as opposed to the kills. And that's really just a product of how loose these matches are, where a large portion of your team is not capable of killing all the players on the other side, and vice versa, because there's so many low resonance players that just don't do enough damage to the high resonance players in the same match, that the overall kill count is fairly low. So it should be a good opportunity to kind of get in here. I want to get past this to the other side if possible. They're going to lock me up, though. Managed to get a kill while I'm just kind of getting my passive AoE damage out, and they actually have to retreat. So not only do I survive, but I do get to the other side that I was hoping for. And I just want to stall that idol. So the entirety of their team is now going to the right. So that's going to be a free pass for me to come up towards their spawn and prevent anyone from getting in this direction here, as well as just coming from behind and possibly picking off players that may be at low health, players retreating, whatever they may be doing. But it's going to be beneficial even if they kill me like that, because I've got so many of their players pushed back from that objective. All I need is my team to kind of clear that, and again, we'll just kind of hit them before they're able to push forward. At this res here, I'm just going to come in from the front, but again, I'm probably going to go towards the back line when possible, and that's just to kind of get on anybody that may be looking to escape, and essentially just prevent them, not give them the option to retreat and heal up. Looks like I'm actually getting engaged on here, which is fine as well, and I can throw a good black hole there, which will prevent the target that I was originally on from getting out, as well as hitting those oncomers. And you can see the black hole's utility is just enormous, and hopefully there's some obvious improvement that I've had from the original match that I showed with it. Incredibly strong build. A lot of players like this regardless of reso. From my perspective, it is stronger at high resonance, and I don't just mean that because your character's stronger. I just think that you need a little bit of survivability to kind of get in there and throw some of the really good black holes. You need to be able to take a hit, so to speak. But that doesn't mean that the build isn't functional. In fact, it's still very good at all resonance. I just think that it is an extra step up with higher resonance. Just having the ability to kind of get in their face, throw some black holes on melee and so forth, just adds to kind of its ability to just really prevent them from doing anything at times. So I'm going to throw the black hole towards where they're all going to funnel in. And you'll see that I can basically just lock targets up and dance around objectives as well. Another really strong feature of this build, especially when you use it as a zoning tool. So I know they're going to come back towards the objective here most likely. And if not, there's still a player in there. No, I'm not going to survive kind of a onslaught there from the ranged players while going in the objective, but we need to stall this. We can't just let it freely push forward. And since there's nobody else on my team there, I kind of have to take one for the team there. And my team is then able to rotate over. And now at this point where I can res and certainly stand in a better or more favorable position, I can do a little bit of cleanup here. So certainly I can just cut them off by teleporting over to the staircase. Very strong. This I'm going to hopefully steal this health globe, or at least kind of stand on it, preventing them from wanting to go on it. And now I'll just kind of continue over to the other side, waiting for a black hole here. I don't want to engage without it because we are outnumbered here. This point I will go in and just throw it on the objective here, push anything back, and I can follow that up with my stance stun if needed. This is a Corpse Lance Necro, so I want to use my teleport to try to dodge the lance there just to keep myself alive. There's just a lot of damage going around, but I follow that up with a black hole, and we should be able to take that down as well. Trying to get a teleport on across the staircase there, if that makes sense, just to get away from anything incoming. But unfortunately, the width of the Demon Hunter's ability too wide, and I get caught. I could have gone back the other direction and potentially stayed alive. Most likely would have, in fact. At this point, I'm just kind of stalling the objective. My team needs to do a better job of staying in it when possible. Not just myself, but everybody. Throwing a black hole to where I'm headed. And the reason for that is it just means if anybody's going to chase me, melee, or anything like that, it will just kind of force them to get into it. And it all happens kind of quick, but that's the general tactic. Sometimes I will throw the black hole and basically walk into it. This is probably the same Demon Hunter. I get really good positioning there. Demon Hunter is shielded. This shield should be ending shortly, and the Crusader has overstayed their welcome. We'll wait for an invis here. And at this point, I will just sneak up, throw whatever I can. Now, I don't need to fight that. They're retreating from the objective, so I don't have to stay there and take the brunt of any hits. I can just kind of reposition, just denying a bandage there. Just continually knock back and lag spikes and everything from the Starfire Shard. Don't need to fight that either. My team is occupying the objective from the front side. At this point, we need Rezzers and the team to rotate. And now we're going to kind of make our stand versus the other side. Letting my team hopefully take some of the ability to knock back again from a Starfire and pulled in from a Condemn. I do not have anything left other than one black hole I can throw in case they don't go down, but they actually go down before I do. And this battle will, in fact, end from a duration and not the kills, like I said. And we just don't have much kill power. I won't even get back to the objective in the time limit. But like I said, it's just relatively low ability to kill on both sides. And this has been really common for games. So you might want to start thinking of tactics to just delay or stall the enemy. And had we not continually just dove in the objectives, and there were several times in that match where I definitely didn't want to get in the objective myself, but it prevents them from pushing it forward. And had I not done that, they probably would have got in. I think even whether it's myself or just one other player choosing to get in the objective there is enough to swing these matches. There are less players playing the objective than ever, even from the start of the game. And I think a large part of this has to do with how few melee we're seeing in the matches, okay? This is kind of an exception. Like I said, we've got a Barb. They've got a Barb, three Crusaders, excuse me, and that is like more melee. I don't necessarily count Monks. I should use that as a disclaimer. Monks are kind of in between for me. They're not necessarily a front line, but we're seeing so few melee in all of the matches, at least at the higher resonance, that anybody willing to stand in the objectives is just so important right now. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch, and have a great day.